Welcome to the FairandPanthers.com Coaches Show. My name is Dave Newcombe. I'll be your host this morning. And I have three volleyball people with me, head coach Jess Flanagan, and then we have Jordan Link, senior, and Bridget is a senior, Bridget Atkinson. And it's nice to have you ladies with us.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in so early in the morning. I know you're all alive and wide awake. You had a game last night, so you might be a little tired. And we're just talking about a great event or a fun event that you did last night, and that you'll do at the next home game, which is Greensboro on the 23rd. What do you do, Coach?
We during the month of October, we have one game specifically designated for Dig Pink Night, but the girls came up with the idea this time to kind of do things throughout the month to help us raise a little bit more money, because a lot of our money comes from the silent auction that we do on Dig Pink Night. But I know Jordan had done at her high school a serving competition where you pay like $1 to serve. So we did that last night, and girls got out there and ran it, and we made over $100. So it was good. It'll all go to the Side Out Foundation. So we'll do it again next Thursday at the home game in between sets 2 and 3. So cool. It was good.
And Dig Pink is October 28th.
Yes, it'll be October 28th against Hollins. So that'll be a good event.
Yeah.
Recognize some people in honor of or in memory of people that have passed or have survived breast cancer, and we still like to take time to recognize other types of cancer also. So.
Well, it's a great event that you do. I know it grows every year, and I know I enjoy going and buying things at the silent auction. That's where I get a lot of my Ferrum gear, and it's really, you get really good stuff for a good price.
Right. That has a lot of the coaches will put stuff in, and it's nice stuff that you can't really find in the bookstore, and probably a good price. So.
Exactly. Well, let's talk about our guests here. Bridget, you're a senior and a defensive specialist. Talk about where you're from and some of the things you do on campus, or what your major, what you're studying.
Well, I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina, mainly the Gastonia area. I am in D5E. This is my first year as being an active sister. And then also, I'm an HHP major with an emphasis in exercise science and sports studies to be a physical therapist, and I'm a minoring in coaching.
Great. So you may want to coach one of these days.
I possibly do. Not really sure yet.
Yeah, maybe high school. Or,
yeah, probably high school or club.
Yeah. Good for you. And Jordan, another senior. These are your two seniors. They've stuck with you.
Yes.
You know, thick and thin.
Yeah, they have.
Jordan, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm from Pilot, Virginia. It's like near Christiansburg and Radford. I'm a double major in accounting and then business with a focus in finance and marketing. And I also do SAC, which is Student Athletic Advisory Committee, and I'm in the leadership program.
Great. Yeah. And tell us about the leadership program a little bit. Leadership Fellow.
Well, we just get together on every Wednesday of like the first of the month or something.
Yeah, we have our
and then like
Pathways to Leadership program, but I guess what the best thing about it is that we have students on scholarship who serve as leaders on campus, and certainly you've been that as a volleyball player, but also on the PAC or the SAC committee, which advises the athletics, which is really helpful. And, so you're going down to Georgia here this weekend, fall break in Georgia. What a great trip, huh?
Yeah, it's actually worked out pretty well to have that trip during fall break. It's a long trip, so we'll leave tomorrow afternoon. Kind of put us there a little late so then they can get there and go to bed. Don't have too much time to stay up and then get up. It's just play. We'll play at 10 and 2. And then get back on the road. It's a quick trip. It just kind of lose track of the days. It goes so quick.
Yeah. So you'll play LaGrange, at LaGrange, and then Huntington.
Yes.
down there, and that makes it nice instead of making a trip to LaGrange, Georgia, and then Huntington, Alabama.
It does. Our schedule works out pretty well.
Yeah.
We have a travel partner, so Averett's our travel partner.
I see.
So they go also, but we don't play them there.
I see.
And you play 2 games, so it makes our schedule works out pretty well for the student athletes.
With our conference now, some of the people out in our audience may not know that our conference is so large. It's all the way down the East Coast, down to Alabama is the southernmost. So that makes for a fun bus trip on fall break.
You don't go to Alabama.
Yeah, thank goodness.
And as seniors, you're the people that keep people up and keep people motivated, along with your coach, of course. How's that go?
I mean, I have a good personality most of the time. I'm really happy. So it's just easy that people can feed off my good personality.
So you're the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, you always need that. Well, Coach, this is your 3rd year now, and you've really had just the opportunity to recruit 2 classes. How are things going? What do you think thus far?
Gosh, it's just been, it's been up and down this season, but as expected, and there's so much improvement that's happened. If you take wins and losses and people don't know much about volleyball, you don't see that. But we know the things that we've improved on, and we're so much more competitive. Took a step from Piedmont this past weekend, and that was big.
Yes.
But still not exactly where we want to be and where these girls would like to be. But, when you're playing all freshmen and sophomore, and a lot of times Bridget and Jordan go in for each other. Yeah. So there you have a senior upperclassman on the court for 3 rotations, and that's just tough, and especially, needing their leadership out there. But sometimes it's just with our rotation, if we run a 6-2 or a 5-1, depends on a lot of Bridget's out there or Jordan's out there. And we just, overall, very pleased. Preseason was just great. The girls came in and were in better shape, and, we could always be in a little bit better shape. But they did. They worked hard over the summer. I was proud of them. And, Jordan and Bridget have just been a big help with that. They kind of bought into what Coach Stephanie and myself wanted to do here, and that's helped us a lot. And so, it's just an uphill. It's just up and down, and it's part of rebuilding the program, and just young, and it'll get there. Just sometimes you wish it happened overnight, but it doesn't.
And I see, you're 2 seniors. You don't have any juniors, as far as I could tell on the roster. And so all sophomores and freshmen, and you have to kind of help shepherd them through and talk about leadership as a leadership fellow. I think you had one of the real tough assignments to be a leader and senior on this team. So I think you've done a great job with it, because every time I see your volleyball team, like in the cafeteria, they're together, they're happy, they're laughing and talking, and that's real important.
Yeah, I think it's been a tough job for them. 2 of them against 7 freshmen coming in, and 6
all those
sophomores, and it's a lot going against them. So they've had a tough job, but they've done really well at it. They definitely will be missed in this upcoming year. But we've got a few games left here, so I'm trying to make the best of it.
I was gonna talk about your coach a little when she was a student. She was, she was a lot of fun. She was an academic all-state several times. She was a very good student, which I know you 2 are. And she was a really good role model as a student. She won the top award an athlete can win on this campus, and that's the President's Cup. And the President's Cup goes to the top, not only athletes, one of them being a great athlete, but also having character and having good grades, being an academic all-state person was really helpful. So she was selected out of all the athletes on their campuses for the President's Cup, and that was pretty cool, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, probably the top award you can get.
It's something probably never forget. So.
Right.
just a big accomplishment.
Right. And she was a lot of fun. You know, the snowball didn't start till she and her
Don't believe that. Don't believe that.
She was a lot of fun.
Right, now they're going to get a practice today talking about that.
Okay. What are some things, is there anything you want to shout out to anybody out there?
It's my dad's birthday Saturday.
Your dad's birthday Saturday. All right. Mr. Atkinson.
Yep, get to see him in Georgia.
Yeah,
He's coming.
okay. Is he coming down to Georgia to see you play? Well, that's dedication as parents.
We have good parents.
You have good parents, right? How about you, Jordan? Anything you want to say to your brother, who I met yesterday?
Well, like I love
Actually,
hey, Mom and Dad.
I didn't really meet him. I talked to him on the phone.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. And they're in Pilot, Virginia.
Yeah.
Auburn High School.
Yep.
All right. So let's talk about once you get back from Georgia. You have the Greensboro game on Thursday. And that's the 23rd.
Yes.
And that will have another, what do you call your?
If we just say the serving game.
The serving game.
Michael, our work study, just said serve for a shirt, so I like
Serve
that.
for a shirt.
Yeah, but I guess you could say serve for a cure, anything like that.
So you have all these prizes on one side, you're serving.
And if you hit one, you get to.
You have to get it over the net, though.
Yes, but some people struggled with that a little bit last
Do
night.
they go underhand?
Yeah, I'm glad some people did it because I don't think they know how tough it is. They always, you hear people saying stuff about getting your serves in.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough thing, so I think some of them got a little taste of that last night.
To me, I love sports, and I've watched a lot of different sports, but I think volleyball may be the consummate team game.
Yes.
You really have to work as a team, and I bet you get frustrated at each other. Does that ever happen?
I think a lot of times the biggest thing is, for us, they get frustrated individually, and, which is, I've been there playing, and it's hard not to when you miss a serve because you feel like you let your team down, but we've struggled a little bit with if they get frustrated, our whole team just tends to shut down. Instead of, volleyball's a game of mistakes and errors. If you miss a serve, you got to move on. And I think one of our big things right now is trying to focus on being in the moment. And we try to talk about a lot of stuff with volleyball and life, and a lot of things that I learned myself, and just being in the moment. When you're in that moment, doing the best you can. And I think sometimes we get a little bit ahead of ourselves and get frustrated because we're thinking about the outcome before we're even playing those small points. But it can be quite frustrating. I'm sure they can tell you.
Well, when I watched your coach play, you were always so positive and upbeat and just constantly urging everybody on. Don't worry about that. Or, you were just, and you were. I talked about your academics, but you were she was all conference all 4 years she was here. So that's pretty impressive. All state 2 of those years. I mean, she was a very, very excellent player, but a great leader on the team. And we didn't have all that much talent when you played, but we won a lot of games just because I think you willed the people to win. And so all of the administration thought, wow, she'd make a good coach. So
I think they've done pretty well with trying to instill in them just the positivity, and I think it's been tough for them because the other girls have to catch them too, and it's just it's been a test, but they've done a really good job at that. So very proud of them.
And it's all about the team. It's all about volleyball.
When we put 15 females together, that's a tough thing. That is a tough thing. Add some competition in there, and it gets real tough. So.
But I'll tell you what, when I see you around, you look like you really enjoy each other's company. Have a good time together, and that's important. That's a credit to your coach. And yet you have another coach, Ruth Ann Duffy. She's down in Martinsville, right?
Yes.
So
she's a huge help. Yes. she's here when she can be. She has a full-time job, so
Right.
that's tough. But yeah, I couldn't do it without her.
Sure.
So she's a really big help and does a lot for these girls and just helps on the court and off the court.
So we have Greensboro next on the 23rd when you get back from Georgia, and then you have the Dig Pink Night, which is Tuesday, October 28th.
Right.
And we talked briefly about that, but there are a lot of good prizes, or a lot of good things for the silent auction,
Yes.
and all the money goes to breast cancer awareness and breast cancer research. It's a huge thing. Will you have pink outfits or pink uniforms on?
Yeah, we wear pink T-shirts.
Oh, good. Excellent. All right. And then senior night.
It'll be November 1st. That's
November
Saturday.
1st.
So.
And that's when you two will be on it. So that'll be fun. We want to get a lot of people out for all those events.
Yes.
It's a lot of fun, especially the big pink.
Right.
Maybe I'll come next week.
Yeah. Bring it on.
A dog. I'll go under.
Hey, that's okay. There's no
Okay.
rules.
Yeah.
It's $1 per serve. Yep.
Practice.
Yeah, so we'll do that, and then our last home game will be Senior Day. It'll be a good day. Hard to believe that these two will be seniors.
Yep. You were recruited by another coach in 3 years with Coach Flanagan.
Yep.
They stuck it out.
All right, well, that's pretty much it for the show today. I appreciate you guys getting out of bed this early and being here. Have a good trip to Georgia. Have a lot of fun on that bus. I know you'll mainly be studying, so that'll be good. Yeah, a lot of sleeping on there. Huh? So next week we will have Andrew Polly, our wonderful soccer coach. He'll be here, and hopefully he'll have a player with him. And so until next Thursday. Also want to talk about, just mention that Black and Gold, A History of Ferrum Athletics, is on the website. Click on there. Only $15. Lots of good stuff. If you're a Ferrum sports fan or a Ferrum fan of any kind, it's a must-read. A lot of good stuff in there. I just completed it. I enjoyed it. You know, I've been here a long time, so I've seen a lot of the history and have enjoyed that. So if you like Ferrum and you like sports, get that book and read it. It's a section on volleyball. Long history of good volleyball. So until next week, Dave Newcombe saying so long.